Next up, we have Edward from PodcastAI.
Hi, I'm Edward, CEO and co-founder of PodcastAI. We automate your podcast. So podcasting is huge. There's just under 500 million listeners right now, and the industry is growing 30% year over year, and it's going to reach 100 billion by 2029. So meet Nick. Nick, you might know, produces All In and This Week in Startups and now Liquidity. And he has hours of manual work to do every single week, every day, putting out these episodes, titles, descriptions, chapters, ad reads. And he has things that he before wanted to be able to do, but just didn't have time to do, like manage an entire show website. So with PodcastAI, Nick just drops in his latest episode and he automatically generates everything. Those descriptions, those chapters that would previously take half an hour, it's all done in 30 seconds. In fact, we even generate a list of the top 10 viral moments for the episode and let you generate the social posts that go along with it for every platform. We also automatically generate an entire website for you. So your podcast gets turned into a website. This is thisweekinstartups.com, powered by PodcastAI right now. And this entire website is automatically created as a byproduct of using PodcastAI. So you see all these latest episodes laid out. You can search. Every single episode has its own super SEO optimized page with the speakers identified, all the socials. We even automatically identify the partners for the show. And on top of letting the audience have the transcript, we actually let the audience chat with AI versions of the hosts. So you can actually chat with the AI besties. In terms of traction, so we've been growing pretty fast. We got our first paying customers in September and we grew 90% in January. And in fact, as of last Friday, we crossed 100K in ARR run rate. So our business model is SaaS subscriptions. So we have professional, small business and business plans, and we're targeting existing podcasters, people that are starting a business, and right after opening their HubSpot account, they need to start a podcast for lead gen and running their marketing. Small businesses, that's producers and also agencies producing podcasts. Our go-to-market is founder-led sales via LinkedIn, podcasts and trade shows, and a referral program to turn our customers into our marketers in a way. The roadmap is really great. We're launching next week. Fully automated blog turns into a podcast in the blog author's voice. So we're really excited about that. Generating the actual viral videos that go with those viral moments that we were talking about. Automatic publication to YouTube. So we're automatically publishing to Apple, Spotify, and YouTube, all from one place. And automating guest research, which is a huge pain point. The road to 100 million ARR takes us through 2029, and that sees us having 14,000 podcasts using our system. And the team consists of myself on product design engineering and Sean Duncombe on operations, sales, and marketing. So we're PodcastAI, and we automate your podcast. Thank you.
Okay, I have a podcast that I run. I've been doing for 4 years. It's called LA Venture Podcast. 2 questions. I'm going to be like Ben. Number 1 is I probably get like 100 pieces of outreach on LinkedIn a day of people wanting to sell me their help with my podcast, like podcast experts all the time, breaking through that noise. But I think even bigger for me, so if you have to do one question, is like, how big is this? Like I pay $60 an episode to someone to just make my whole podcast, and I use Descript and they make the transcript and that sort of thing. So is this really a huge TAM is really my number 1 question.
Yeah, I think that I can see how this could be really helpful for creators, small businesses who, don't have the time to manually go and create these captions, these titles, this website for this podcast. Yeah, I think my question would be related to Minnie's question, which is, what do you see as the core defensibility of this product? And how do you see it competing against, for example, hiring a person to do it or consultants to do it, outsourcing? Where do you see the defensibility in terms and in relation to competition?
Can you tell us about the larger vision for the company?
All right. Thank you. Those are some great questions. So Minnie, Nicole, you were talking about TAM. So the TAM is quite large. There's actual existing podcasters that we're going after, of course, but much bigger than the existing podcasters. You saw that the market is growing 30% year over year. And the reason is that when people are, small businesses, okay, well, they're going to go to HubSpot to start getting their CRM going. And then they realize, well, in terms of marketing, having a podcast is a no-brainer in terms of lead generation, right? Even if you had 10 people listening to your podcast, if just one of them converts into a customer, that made it all worth it. So really podcasting is going to become and is becoming step 1 of marketing. So the TAM is quite large from that perspective. And also you have this big media convergence of, all YouTubers realizing that they could be podcasters because they're essentially doing the same thing and vice versa. So we have a lot of YouTubers actually that are using our system and we've turned into podcasters. So the TAM is quite large and getting larger constantly. In terms of defensibility and versus outsourcing, people are spending different amounts. We have people that are spending a few $100s per episode to actually do the production and are chaining together various tools. Our vision is really actually making one tool that does everything, one whole pipeline where you don't have to chain together all these various tools. And you always get the same consistency in terms of the production and especially really fast production. So we have customers that have fired their production teams and are actually using us because all they really needed was a simple editor to put their intro and their outro and automatically generate a cold open. So we're serving those people quite well. And in terms of the larger vision, you kind of saw a hint of that with the blog to podcasting in the author's voice. We think not only automating the production of content, but really starting to get into synthetic content based on, real insights from those authors. So super excited by the vision and thank you very much.
The only thing I wanted to add to there as a professional podcaster is the reason we invested in this company and we're so excited about it is we wanted to take every episode we had, transcribe it and do clips and do the show notes and have timestamps. And we have 8 people working full time on the 3 podcasts we do. To do the work that Edward is doing would take like between $500 and $1,000 per episode of producer time. So for $500 a month, we do unlimited podcasts basically. So it's been a super game changer for us.